Imagine you can create a perfect world, completely from scratch. Sounds amazing, right? But what happens when your search for perfection runs headfirst into the one thing you can't really control? Life itself. We're going to dive into one creator's journey and see the huge problems that pop up when paradise, well, isn't quite what it seems.
And that quote, that says it all right there. See, the creator, a teenager named Evan, he has this incredible power inside his dreams, but he is just so lonely. All he wants is a real friend, someone to actually talk to. But every single time he tries, he just hits this wall. All his creations are just parts of himself, and the whole thing just feels hollow, totally empty. It's like a one-man show where he's forced to play every single part.
So this is what we're calling the puppet problem. I mean, Evan builds an entire town, fills it with people, gives them what look like lives, but it's all just a script he wrote. Nothing ever changes on its own. The rocks don't move, the plants don't grow unless he's personally thinking about them. It's a world with zero surprises, and, eventually he just gets bored. He's basically a god, but he's the only one pulling all the strings.
And this really gets to the heart of what Evan is desperate for. He doesn't want a puppet that just repeats his own thoughts back to him. No way. He wants a real person, someone with their own mind, someone who can make their own choices, even if they're bad ones. He's craving that surprise, that challenge, a real relationship with something that isn't just a boring reflection of himself.
And this is where his very personal frustration suddenly connects to one of the biggest questions about our own existence, right? If we were all just pre-programmed, just following some divine script without any actual choice, what would that really make us? The answer is kind of unsettling. We'd just be puppets in some grand play, not really alive at all.
So, with this new understanding, Evan tries something completely out of the box. He decides he's going to run a radical experiment. Instead of scripting a character from top to bottom, he's going to try and create a being with genuine, unpredictable free will. He calls him Adam, and he drops him on a beach right at sunrise.
And boom! The result is instantaneous. The very first words out of Adam's mouth are skeptical, challenging. He doesn't just accept this voice from the sky that is Evan. He questions it. He demands proof. And this is the first real sign that the experiment is working, maybe a little too well.
So, how did Evan actually do it? Well, the mechanics the story gives us are pretty fascinating. He literally takes a piece of himself, a little fragment of his own consciousness and his own memories, and he embeds it inside Adam. Now, this doesn't just create a being that can think for itself. It forges this permanent link, meaning the creation will always carry a part of its creator inside.
And here it is, the crucial moment, the point of pure defiance. Evan tries to warn Adam about danger, to guide him. But Adam throws the creator's own gift right back in his face. Free will means you have the freedom to ignore your creator, the freedom to make your own catastrophic mistakes. Evan's control is officially gone. And acting on that defiance, Adam runs straight into the ocean and just vanishes. Evan completely panics, realizing his world is unfinished. That ocean was just a pretty surface with nothing underneath. Adam has literally fallen out of the created world, and he's tumbling into this empty, unfinished void where Evan can't reach him at all.
This is the question that just freezes Evan in his tracks. He succeeded, right? He made a free being. But in doing that, he's lost him. The piece of himself that he put inside Adam is now just adrift in total darkness, way beyond his influence. He went from being a creator to a completely helpless spectator.
And then, just when you think it can't get any worse, it does. So much worse. As Adam is falling, another voice enters that void. A cool, soothing, and totally sinister voice. It tells Adam to distrust his creator, to hide. All of a sudden, Evan isn't just dealing with his creation's independence, he's now competing with this dark outside force for Adam's very soul.
Okay, so after that terrifying experience, Evan tries to make sense of it all with his friend Abby. And this is where the story pivots from this wild creation myth into a really deep philosophical debate about what a perfect world would actually look like.
Abby's solution is super simple, very logical. She's like, if you're God, why not just get rid of all the problems? Just create a world with no conflict, no needs, no wants at all. Just pure, effortless happiness. I mean, it sounds like the obvious answer, doesn't it?
But here's the thing. Evan's already tried that. And the result is, honestly, it's chilling. In a world where every single need is met, where there is zero struggle, nobody does anything. There's no ambition, no creativity, no growth.
It's just a silent utopia populated by lifeless, blinking statues. It's a powerful idea to think about. If you remove all struggle, do you also remove all purpose?
So the debate really boils down to this. Abby's idea is to just delete all the bad choices. But Evan argues that if you do that, you don't have a paradise. What you have is a dictatorship. You're forcing people to be good, which isn't at all the same as them choosing to be good.
And this brings us right to the central paradox of the whole thing. A world without problems is also a world without purpose. I mean, think about it. Wanting something drives us to act. Action leads to growth. And conflict, as messy and awful as it can be, is what gives our choices meaning. If you take away the struggle, you take away the very stuff that makes life worth living.
Which brings us to the ultimate choice, right? The fundamental dilemma that any creator, big or small, has to face when they bring something new into the world. It is a choice between two very, very different kinds of existence.
It all boils down to this one profound, completely unavoidable trade-off. You can have a perfect, predictable world where everybody behaves exactly how you want them to, or you can have a messy, unpredictable world where beings are truly, truly free. But the one thing you can't have is a world that is both perfectly controlled and authentically alive.
So, real choice isn't just about picking between option A or option B. It's really the creator's ultimate act of vulnerability. It's a huge gamble. Granting free will is a risk that opens the door to the possibility of real love, real growth, and real beauty. But it just as easily opens the door to pain, rebellion, and total chaos.
And that leaves us with the final question to chew on. If this was all up to you, would you build that perfect, safe world full of puppets? Or would you take the risk and create beings who could love you, surprise you, and maybe even break your heart? What's the real price of a soul?